Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to En Vivo Life, or maybe Single Mom Dot Today. Either one of them. I just want to welcome all of you to this program today, and we are going to be talking about post-pandemic financial fitness. What is that? Financial fitness post-pandemic, because we have an extraordinary, beautiful woman who is also a single mom, and she is going to be talking about this topic. And there's going to be, an interaction between her and I to help you understand how you can be better at whatever it is that you do based on this conversation of financial fitness. So I'm gonna just shut up, which that's not very difficult for me. I love to talk a lot and I'm very opinionated. So that's the reason why I invite all these people so that they can express their opinion. And her name is Monique Rose. And
Thank
I am going to just go ahead and say, Monique, tell us about who you are, what you do, and why should we be listening to you? Why?
you. Well, thank you so much, Sandra, for inviting me on your platform. I am so delighted and humbled to be here. You have an amazing platform and audience, very informational and inspirational. I'm here today to offer the same inspiration and information. I am a fitness and financial coach. So I initially started teaching high school English when I was 22 years old. And I taught for 6 years, very rewarding field, very very impactful to work with students, but or adolescents. But I felt in my heart that I was unfulfilled, and there was more to educate people on. I realized the need for financial literacy in our community, and the need for mental health services, and to just create a lifestyle that is conducive to a healthy mind and body and spirit. And so I left the classroom and embarked on a career in business. Now, I aim to educate people on how to live a healthier fitness and financial life. My company, Most Motivational Health Club, you can say MoFit Health Club for short, offers resources and tools and strategies that guide you on your journey. When you are unlearning, old habits or embarking on a path to healthier habits, it's a change that starts within first. And so I had to face that or experience that myself at a young age of 24 years old, being a new mom. I was in my master's program. I was working two jobs, and I
So,
was
so before we get
broken.
into a little bit more, you were telling us all of this, and you say you were a new mom. So you are a single mom. Can you tell us how that connect to what you are doing right now?
Absolutely. I just want to emphasize and clarify that single mom, the label, I'm not very big on labels and titles because sometimes I think it's ambiguous, but single mom for me is a label. I like to say I'm single and I'm a mom. I won't call myself a single mom in I guess, the societal traditional essence of the word, because my son's father is very much involved in
Uh,
his son's life, and he's an amazing man, very loving father. But
awesome.
I am single, and I do live alone with my son, and so that does put me as a single mom, indeed.
Right.
Um, and when I realized that I was going to be a single mom, when I realized our relationship was failing, and it may not have blossomed into marriage, I struggled with depression. I struggled with anxiety. Um, I channeled a lot of those emotions through binge eating.
Mm.
So it became like this domino effect of destructive behavior and self-destruction because of my own fears of what this
Mm.
title was going to bring into my
Yeah.
life. But not only that, what it would mean for me financially as a woman. And I struggle with my self-esteem for that reason. I
Mm-hmm.
binge
We
eat.
all. Mm-hmm.
I know many women can attest to this, this journey and this testimony, and it's a journey of self-realization. Honestly, you
Yeah.
know, I was 160 pounds before my son. Granted, I'm a young mom, so weight wasn't like a big focal point really during my pregnancy. But because of the anxiety and the depression, I overate. I was
Yeah.
making excuses of, you know, overeating by saying I'm eating for 2 or eating for 3, whatever thing we say, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, I'm waking up at
I
2
did
a.m.
that.
Waking up at 2 a.m. for ice cream, and we know is really to feed a negative emotion that we're having, to fill a void. And so because of that pattern, I went up to
Yeah.
215 pounds when my son was 8 months. By 8 months, so you know, I had a woman telling me, "Oh, you're gonna shed that weight with breastfeeding, and you know, it just comes right off when the baby comes." No, that did not
It's
happen.
not true.
I
It's
got
not
heavy.
true.
Yeah, there are, you know, literal habits and steps that we have to take to climb out of that sinking sand, that sinking hole. And so at 215 pounds, feeling you know, just lack of confidence, not wanting to go anywhere, and kind of like having a lot of toxic energy within me from these negative thoughts. And that that started to tarnish a lot of my relationships and friendships. But you know, ultimately, I knew a change had to happen. And I think that's the
Right.
most important thing is, as women, we have to be honest with ourselves about when a change, a paradigm shift needs to take place.
Yeah. So I like what you said, and you were clarifying about labels, titles, whatever. And when they are talking about single mom, it doesn't mean that the dad is not involved. Because, ladies, I have some men that I'm going to be interviewing soon, and I'm so excited because they are single dads too. And it's all about that, trying to do that co-parenting, which is that's going to be another conversation for later. So when they're saying single mom, it doesn't always mean that you are just all by yourself and the man have vanished. It just means that you are single, like Monique just said, and you are a mom. And if the man is involved or not, you are a mom and you are single. So thank you, Monique, for clarifying that, which is very important for us to have that clear to start. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's very important because I think there are some young girls who grow up and they feel insecure about that. Like, oh, I have to be married, or, I mean, of course, marriage is a strong foundation to starting a family.
Right.
But, you know, that doesn't mean that you're not worthy of being a mom. And you shouldn't
Right.
allow the fear of potentially becoming a single mom to stop you from being a mom. You kind of see that
Mm,
happening a lot.
yes. I'm going to just pause you right there and I'm going to ask you, you need to repeat that part again. That was good. You need to
um,
repeat that part again.
yeah, I
Ladies,
know.
listen to what she's saying.
Yeah, no, it's psychological barriers are very real, and I experienced them head on just in my own reflective life, but also as a teacher, seeing the psychological barriers that adolescents, teenagers face. And those psychological barriers, it starts with the narratives we tell ourselves. And so I think it's very common with young girls to be afraid of, or young girls who are thinking about motherhood, or young women, I should say, sorry, young women who are thinking about motherhood, they're like, oh, I can't become a mom until I'm married because this and that. Maybe it's religious preferences, maybe stability, but it's creating an insecurity that I can't be a mom unless the man is definitely there.
Right.
And
Or I am going to be a bad mom if I have a divorce or if by whatever reason I end up being a single mom.
yeah,
And that does not make you a bad person. It doesn't make the man a bad person. It just means that you people are not supposed to be together. That's it.
right.
That's really what it means.
If things don't work out, that's normal, that's fine, it's great, but you should always remember as a woman that you are bearing a child is a gift from God. Don't
Amen.
allow the fear of being a single mom to prevent you from actually becoming a mom.
Tell it, tell it, tell it. Thank you for clarifying that. I love it because a lot of you women, you have the assumption that you will not be whole until you are married. You are whole just the way you are. And just like I said in my video, I don't know when it was, last week, 2 weeks ago, We want to have a man. We don't need a man. We want water, but we need water. So you see the difference? One is the need, one is the want. I enjoy my kids. I want my kids. I want my husband. I want this, but I need God and I need water. Everything else is optional. So when you start telling yourself that you need this in order for you to be whole, then you end up being a bad single mom because you cannot give your kids what they need because you don't even know what is it that you need. So that's the reason why I'm glad that Monique clarified that you need to make sure that you understand. I am a mom that who is single. So thank you, Monique. I have to stop on that.
No, of course. I think that is
Thank you.
important. Yeah, for
Thank you.
sure.
Thank you for clarifying that. So so tell us more about this. I know at the beginning of a conversation, you mentioned the word wholesome. That was before when we was not recording. So tell us more about this wholesome thing.
Yeah. So you mentioned that, being a whole woman, is not, there isn't like this blueprint, right? Or like there's this rule book to what it means to become whole. And we definitely can blame some cultures for letting women think that becoming whole starts with a man. Like, oh, you need a man in your life to be whole. That narrative is not true. However, I do believe that the best way to know where to start and what a wholesome woman looks like is in for me, the Bible, right? So I'm a Christian woman, but I'm not going to impose my faith on anyone else. But whatever your faith lies in, look to that to know what womanhood is within that capacity. And so as a Christian woman, when I read First Colossians 3, Romans 12, Proverbs, there's a lot of description. God expresses what a woman looks like and what a woman responsibility is in this world and what a woman's gifts are. And so for women that are completely in the dark about who am I, right? First, you associate yourself with your sexuality, your religion, your culture, your ethnicity, but who are you really? And they're in a part of you. And sometimes when you're in the dark, going to that spiritual book will kind of shed light on who you really are. And for me, it was the Bible. And I came up with 4 constituents to a wholesome woman. I like to call them the F constituents to a wholesome woman, because each thing begins with the letter F. And that is faith, family, financial stability, and fitness, and mind, body, and spirit.
That's fine.
I think these are important to becoming a happier woman and a healthier woman. And that essentially is what keeps us whole. So in starting off with faith, I believe faith is the foundation to manifestation, right? And we want to manifest as women a lifestyle that serves us, that's quality, that protects our energy, that where we can, because if we're an empty vessel, how can we pour into others? Yeah. The leading role of womanhood is nurturing, is loving and helping, is being compassionate. And of course it is bearing life, but are we really fulfilling who we are inside before we can do that?
The second one.
Oh, so I'm talking. So I thought you had a question in regards to that. Sorry.
No, believe me. When I have a question, I just jump. I just jump in. You don't have to pause for me.
I love your energy, by the way, Sandra. So enlightening, so powerful.
And I didn't take anything extra for it. It's just the way it is.
Naturally, God planted this gift in you to uplift others with it. But yeah, like faith is the foundation to manifestation. So if we don't believe in a higher power, whatever that higher power is, how can we then believe in ourselves, right? The belief in something unseen, right? Whether it is religious based or whether it is a tangible thing that you want to see, you have to start with belief, and that's where faith lies. That belief in God, it can transfer to confidence, it transfers to strength, it transfers into willpower. All of that is which I possess as a woman, because it's easy to fall victim to the emotional whirlwind of womanhood. And faith is the engine that drives God's ability, or drives God's ability into our lives. Right. So, we have to harness God's faith and to really harness our own abilities. And that moves forward to faith, right? Family. Family is a leading motivator and purpose for an identity as women, right? I'm pretty sure many women can share that, they thought about their wedding day from a young age. They think about their sweet 16. They think about their boyfriend. They think about so these are like things that were either planted in us from culture, from our parents, but it can also just be inherently who we are as women, right? We want to feel a place of belonging. We want to have
and let me tell you, if you are like me and you did not dream about getting married, that's okay too, because that was a lot of girls' dream. It wasn't my dream. Okay. So
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be your dreams. And I know a lot of women feel inadequate or weird because it's like, oh, a lot of women dream that they was gonna be married and all this kind of stuff. It doesn't have to be your story. Your story can be different, and that's what makes you wholesome, because you are different than everybody else. So I just want to remind you of that. Just embrace that. Okay.
I
Go ahead.
agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Yes, it's there. Like I mentioned at the beginning, right? There's no rule book or blueprint to what the
Right.
wholesome woman is. But
Right.
of course, the titles that are often glorified or we associate with womanhood is wife or mother, right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
these are two titles that give us the power of responsibility to love, nurture, and to lead. And
Right.
so we yearn to be we're queens. We're all queens. All women are queens, but we just recognize it at different points in our life
Right.
or different times. And so we want to be queen of a unit. And all of us want to be blessed with family, whether even if it's your family as your friends,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your community can be your family.
Yeah.
So feeling like you belong is a major part of becoming a wholesome woman. What are you a part of? Who will you call your family? Whether it be your sorority sisters, whether it's your church community, whether it is having your husband and having many kids. I just want one, but I know there's women out there that want 10, 6,
Yep.
whatever.
Good luck with the inflation now.
Mhm. And so, so we hope for a child, or, we start womanhood with becoming a wife or a child, because we really, family is a major part of our identity
Yeah.
and belonging. And then the third constituent, excuse me, is financial stability, right? So how can you obtain a family or be a part of a community if you are not gaining any money at all financially, right? We need money for a quality lifestyle, to provide our needs, and oftentimes we become codependent. Sometimes we can fall victim to codependency
Yeah.
for that money, and
Yeah.
so
It's called depending on other people's money, child support, not your own money, arguing for stuff that doesn't belong to you. Okay. Yes, women, you need to get on the program. Have your jobs, have your business. That's what Monique is going to talk about more. Financial stability. Tell us more about that, Monique. This is a very important conversation that lots of women all around the world, I don't care where you are, America, Africa, whatever, you need to listen to this. You can't sit around waiting for a man to come and take care of your bills, waiting for your kids to grow up and play in the NFL and take care of your bills. You need to take care of your business right now. So bring it on, Monique. Bring it on. Tell us more about that.
every woman at some point in their life, especially as a young woman, the moment you're out of college and you're an adult now, parents, because you're codependent on your parents, and then from there it should be independence. It shouldn't be I'm codependent on my parents, now let me become codependent on my boyfriend or my husband.
Mm-hmm.
There should be that intermissionary period of independency. And
That's right.
to start reflecting on how independent you are, ask yourself, are my expenses greater than my income?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Are my expenses greater than my income? Is somebody else allocating for some of those expenses for you?
Yeah.
Right? How can you change that? Really being honest with yourself about how can I change where I'm allocating my money? Who's paying for things for me? Right? Really being intentional and actively seeking answers for that. Then the
Yes.
second question that you should ask yourself is my credit score good enough for me to leverage it for a quality lifestyle or for the things I need? Because if you don't have liquid cash, your credit is another vital asset to you, right?
Right.
So that number having a 650 or higher credit score is important. 650 and lower, it's almost like you're guaranteed to get a no, or you're going to get a really high interest rate on your car, on your home, or even if you don't want to buy a house, then even your rent, right? You may not get the approval for that apartment that you want. And so it's really paying attention to your credit score regularly. It's like a numbers game, right? Just really monitoring, okay, what did I pay for? What did I put on my credit score, my credit card to let my score plummet or let my score go down? Really being intentional and asking yourself about your spending habits and where your money is coming from.
Well, I definitely can add something to that because I had a goal to make sure that I will have a house when I was a single mom. And I know that it was like when a man asks a woman to get married, then they move into the house. I'm like, I'm going to get a house, right? So at that time, my credit score was not doing too good. So I had to fix up some things in my credit and all the kind of stuff. And I was able to get a house. Although I was making some money, I wasn't making enough money to be able to buy the house that I wanted, but my credit score helped me get the house that I wanted. And that was so good as a single mom because in the neighborhood that I'm living in, it was mostly married couples and all of that stuff. And it felt so good, so wonderful to be able to have a house as a single mom and bring that joy and that confidence to my children that I'm going to tell you, embrace it. If you are in a situation that your credit score is low or for whatever reason, I would tell you, work on it, do what you have to do, because that's how you're going to teach your kids to do better. Right, Monique?
Absolutely. And I'm going to get into, after mentioning the last constituent, get into how we can help you, right? When I say we, myself, my team, there are resources, there are tools out there available to you. I know it's hard to research sometimes, but we can show and present to you the system that we use to make sure that you are getting the help you need to solve that problem. And it's being honest with yourself that it is a problem. Sometimes women, we're not always honest because we have to deal with the emotional baggage that comes with the reality of our situation. But it's important that you are honest with yourself about what you need. And I'm sure that the services that my company offers will definitely help you.
So what are some of the things you say honest with yourself? What are, being that you have clients and you help them with a credit score, what are some of the things that stand in their way of being honest with themselves? Can you share some of that with us?
Absolutely. And I didn't want to get off topic, so I did not get to mention the last F, which is fitness. But to address your question really quickly, what prevents some people from being honest with themselves is one, wanting to fit in with their peers, right? So you see your peers going on trips, you see your peers settling down or buying this and that, and you want the same thing. But you're not doing the work. You haven't put in the work and set up a financial plan to get those things. So you start to overwhelm yourself with like quick fix strategies and shortcuts and lying, right? Like lying and pretending that you have something that you don't have, more than you don't. I even when I had friends that in the past that used to want me to go out every weekend, and sometimes it was hard. I felt compelled to say, I felt compelled to do everything that they wanted to do, but there were times where I'm like, well, I'm probably the only mother that's going out tonight, and I just paid for this and I paid for that. I don't have the money for a dress tonight or heels, but sometimes you don't want to be honest. You want to say, yeah, I'll do with that, and then I don't do credit card, right? And you're putting things. So it's just being that's one thing, trying to fitting with your peers, and it's important that we don't look at each other and compare. But also one thing that makes some women struggle with honesty is I would say confidence, just lack of confidence. Maybe trying to live through your trauma bond, right? So you may be inflicted by things in your childhood, traumatic experiences that you had, and that is causing you to just lack confidence inside. And so you don't want to be honest about how bad your spending habits are. or the things that you are buying or going to do to try to fill those voids.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to heal the trauma and overcome the trauma bond that's causing you to not be honest about your financial situation.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, there are many reasons, but that brings me into the last F, which is fitness in mind, body, and spirit. You know, money is external. Money is a tangible tool. It's a thing that we use for transactions in this society, this capitalistic society that we live in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is that most important? Although that holds value, is that most important?
Right.
No, believe it or not, who you are is most important. Your body is most important. Your mind, right? Like your mind is the engine that drives you, takes you to achieve these goals. And so what does fitness really look like in mind, body, and spirit? Is feeling like you are sane, healthy, strong, right? Resilient, having willpower, being physically capable to do certain things, do the things that are needed to have your family, to build financial stability. It really starts with fitness. Oftentimes we hear the word fitness and we think as women it's just physique, right? Especially now with the internet and social media, this craze has created a lot more narcissistic, kind of personality disorders where women are like, oh, I need to get a BBL so I can post myself doing all of these different exotic things. But that's not the only thing for fitness, right? And that's not even real fitness. Like, is your mind okay? Are your emotions okay? Fitness has layers, and the core of our fitness really starts with our spirit, right? I have to reference the Bible and say that Romans 12 mentions that we should not conform to the patterns of this world, but to be restored by the renewal of our mind. Mm-hmm. Right? So God is instructing us to renew our minds, and that is only possible through enlightenment. But where does enlightenment come from? For some, it may come from meditation and prayer. For others, it may come from journaling and talking, expressing themselves to their friends. It can be just practicing self-awareness and reflective strategies with yourself. So just really realizing the core of who you are starts in your spirit, and your spirit tends to be the purest part of you. It's absent of your ego. It's absent of those desires. And sometimes journaling does bring those to surface, bring those to light. But now, after you've tapped into your spirit, what do you do with that? You try to unlock the emotional baggage, the emotional barriers that you have. And that is the best way to do that is through fitness. When I was depressed, I still struggle with depression from time to time, but when I was really depressed and pretty much having suicidal episodes, when my son was 8 months old, not feeling worthy, God said, go to the gym. Like, I never played a sport a day in my life. I never went to the gym prior to. It wasn't a part of my lifestyle. It wasn't within something my family did. So I didn't know the relevance of it. So going to the gym when I was in that place, I really believe it was a calling from God for me to go there, because it was never an interest. And that friend did not invite me. A friend did not invite me and say, go. I just saw Bally's. I was driving. I saw Bally's this is when Bally's was still in business. I think now they're bought out by 24 Hour Fitness, but Bally's had this like free trial, and I saw the sign. I said, let me just go in there. I just needed something new, refreshing to do. And I went in there, and instantly, it was like I was supposed to be there, because instantly a trainer approaches me and they're giving me a tour of the gym, but he gave me a free training session, and he started to record me and doing all these things. And it made me realize, oh, I never really focused on my body like this. It was like an aha moment. It was like an epiphany. Like, I never really focused on my body like this. Let me actually take some time to do that. And it never stopped. I kept going to the gym, and I started a lot with cardio.
Oh, you got determination. So you went there and you never stopped.
So that became my sanctuary.
Good.
Like, to believe it or not, I felt like this release when I got there. Like I said, I felt like it was time for me to focus on my body, right? So like
Wow.
literally it's like a connection. It's like when you're focused on your body, at some point you're gonna start to realize you're focusing on your emotions as well, what you're capable of, what makes you sad. It's like a domino effect that started happening. And
Wow.
then because I was focused on my body, then emotionally I started feeling better. Then now I was tapping more into my spirit. My spiritual life became even healthier. You realize that it has to start somewhere. And I do believe starting with fitness, physical activity, cardio, even for 30 minutes a day or running 1 mile a day, those things connect you in all three realms of who you are. And that's what it did for me. So yes, I was going back because it was like my escape. That's why I kept going back. I wouldn't consider myself disciplined. I wasn't in the gym just like a trainer from day one and going hard. No, sometimes I just went there for the escape. It was my final time to just focus on my body, not focus on the baby, not focus on my master's program. I remember at the time I was in school, and I remember it was so stressful to finish my master's, but I successfully did it. I am have a master's in education. And, I just realized that I could focus on myself now. And that's what the gym did. And that's important as a woman. You need like that safe space, that moment, or a safe space. Yeah. That's going to allow you to be yourself and just really make yourself better. And
Well,
so,
I have to cut in and tell you something that was laughing. When I got divorced, before I got divorced, I was a little overweight. And right after I got divorced, I started going to the gym, and I was in the gym and I'm losing weight and I'm getting toned and I'm doing everything. It felt so good. Then, just to confirm what you're saying, I started reading a lot of self-esteem book. Yes, I want to be better and all this. Oh my goodness. So what you said, it did work on me too, because it was like that, and I'm looking good. I'm looking in the mirror, and then after that, it was like, man, I have to, improve my relationship with God, and because it does get you on a path, like you said, the domino effect. It gets you into, you did this right. Now, what is the next level to do something better? And then you do that one, and then what is the next level to do something better? And then it all work out together. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it, because I was just laughing, because that's exactly what I did.
yeah, it's true. Because, when we just talk about science, because I am now a certified personal trainer. And so just to apply a little bit what I've learned, when you are active and you're focused on biomechanics, you're focused on building muscle mass and improving your heart rate through cardiovascular, what you're doing is also releasing endorphins, right? And releasing endorphins is a major part of how we manage our stress levels in our body, cortisol levels in our body. And those stress levels and just how you're feeling, how happy you're feeling, it releases a chemical in your brain, right? It releases chemicals in your brain that make you tap into a deeper consciousness. Most of our lives are lived subconsciously. Sometimes, especially if you're from New York like me, where it's always constant going, you're in autopilot. So to be physically active, it really unlocks many different things for you neurologically. And that's why it becomes a spiritual journey. We all have some form of trauma bond caused by what we've seen in the world. It could just be, you could be traumatized by what you see on the news.
Yep.
Right. So these trauma bonds and this broken consciousness that we carry around, it has to release. It's the core and the trigger point of our unhealthy habits and our poor behavioral patterns, right? Like if you're easily angered or high tempered, or you find yourself being envious and jealous, these are all stemming from something way deeper within. It's just a surface issue that points to something deeper within. And that all brings back to activity. Just focusing on your body helps you focus on your mind. And all of it, like what God says, he helps those who help themselves, right? So you being active, it's going to naturally, your body will start to feel better. Your mind will start to think clearer, and you'll start to unlock certain things. Of course, reading plays a part, and communicating with people, working out together plays a part. But all of these things together stem from an inner change, is what manifests those outward changes that we want to see.
Yeah. So since you did explain that, and we are getting to the end of this, can you tell us about the financial part of it? You were talking about the credit score. How can they reach out to you so that we can start the closing?
Awesome. Of course. So all four constituents, faith, family, financial stability, and fitness, are they're most possible when you focus on 3 P's, honestly. And those 3 P's is prayer, passion, and having patience. Most Motivational Health Club, or MoFit Health Club for short, is an education-based e-commerce business. And we offer nutrition products, we offer fitness products, personal and virtual training. When we really are, my coaches, my team, we really spend a lot of time educating and connecting with each individual person. But the biggest change that we are making right now is incorporating financial education. So we partnered with Financial Education Services, which is a company that's been around for over, I want to say 16 years. It's been way over 10 years that they've helped millions of families report improve their credit score. We remove negative items off your credit report, whether it be repossessions, debt. I said that, sorry. Student.
Everybody gonna want to find out about that one.
Student loan debt, collections, medical bills, and we also add positive trade lines to your credit report, such as your rent. If you're paying rent, we can get that added to Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. These 3 credit bureaus don't automatically add your rent to your credit report, for example. They don't automatically add positive trade lines all the time. So we educate you and show you systems that include credit monitoring, a debt pay down system. We also offer identity protection and identity monitoring. There's a number of things that we offer to help you to restore your credit, but also maintaining it. The greatest part is that you also have a chance to earn residual income because the opportunity compensates you as well. So you're repairing your credit and getting paid to help others do the same through our referral program. So
So do you have an Instagram or something where
yes.
they can reach you?
Yes, the best way to reach me or to get connected is on Instagram at Moniquekrose, or you can follow at MoFit_Health Club. You can also email info@mofithealthclub.com. I'm always open to connecting with people via email or on social media, but send me a DM. I do respond to DMs. I don't always respond to comments under the pictures. But yeah, if you are someone that wants to lose 10 pounds or more, improve your credit score by 10 points or more, or even make extra money, my business partner right now is making $10,000 in this company per month residually. If you want to be someone like that, definitely reach out to me and we can set up a free consultation call to talk more.
Okay, so close with one quote. What will that quote come from you? Something that you want them to remember. What would that? Something that you live by. A quote. What would that be?
A quote that I live by is 3. There's actually 3. Can I say 3? Can I say
Go
3?
ahead.
I will say 3. The first one is Philippians 4:13. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. That's something that resonates with me, and lets me know that anything is possible. I'm capable of anything, of doing all things. And the second quote is by Mark Twain. The 2 most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. So if you are someone that's not living in your purpose, and you're unsure of what your gift is and how you can help others, that's very important. Just be intentional about finding out what your purpose is. That's going to be the core of your lifestyle and your livelihood. And the third quote is, live life, but don't get lost in it.
Ooh, well, I actually really like that.
I even had it inked on my body because
That's
it's
really good.
very
That was
important
really
that
good.
yes, we live life and we live fearlessly, and we live consciously and we be present, but let's not get lost in who we are and what we stand for.
Yeah, thank you for that. So thank you, Monique, for putting up with me. It can be challenging. And thank you all for listening. If you have any comments, please go ahead and comment, share this conversation. If you like what you heard, get in touch with Monique. But if you have a topic of interest that you want to share with me that will be beneficial to single moms to help them grow, tips, or some kind of support, maybe you're author, then get in touch with me at info at what is it? Info at
Mo,
singlemom.today. Info at singlemom.today. Or you can visit me on Instagram and Vivo Life and send me a private message and just send me a little kiss or a hug emoji, and I will respond to you. All you freakos out there trying to do bad stuff on social media, please don't contact me. That is not going to work out. I'm going to block you. Okay. So when you leave in comments, make sure that you are respectful, not only here, but everywhere that you go. Just be respectful. Okay. And to close what Monique was saying, I'm also a Christian, and Matthew 21:22 says, if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. And that's what I'm going to close. Thank you so much. Thank you, Monique. Mwah!
thank you so much,
Thank you.
Sandra. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. And thank you, everyone. Look forward to connecting with you.
Isn't she beautiful? Like, look at that. Isn't she
Thank you.
beautiful? That's called fitness.